Welcome to the Small Axe Podcast. It's your boy Nico, the multifamily family man. We are going to talk about everything regarding multifamily real estate investing. Stick with me. This podcast episode is going to be epic. Today, I am navigating two refinances on two different properties. I have the sale of one property going on, an attempted sale on another. The sale on the first property that I just mentioned is actually a two-property portfolio. So we have two separate listings for that one deal. I'm navigating issues between general partnership members, people that have different opinions, different thoughts, different situations and circumstances in their own lives. We have CapEx issues everywhere. Certain deals have limited reserves. Other deals have a surplus of reserves. A variety of opinions on what to do from everybody. I'm trying to keep everybody happy. All the while looking at new deals and new acquisitions with a very conservative lens and trying to grow my coaching business. So the purpose of today's episode is not to scare you away from multifamily real estate. Rather, it's really just to give you a clearer picture of where you would be, where you should be, how you should get involved today in multifamily real estate, and whether that role that you choose is going to be an active role or a passive role. Now, this is something that I talk about to no end. Should you just be an LP or should you be a GP? And ultimately, the decision is going to fall with you. You know that, I know that. But my purpose today is just to kind of shed light on what I do. So let me get this out of the way first. I work 4 different jobs all the time. So my first and primary W-2, as you call it, is as a school teacher for 23 years, teaching Spanish. Now, I also am a surf instructor and surf coach for the spring and fall surf teams, and for the summer instructional program, I am a surf instructor. On top of that, I also wait tables 1 to 3 nights a week just to make some extra income. Factoring in all those jobs and roles that I have, not factoring in the fact that I'm also a father, a partner, and I have a lot going on in my family situation as well. Now we're adding on the real estate portion, which I qualify now as a real estate professional because I spend so much time doing so. You have to qualify as a real estate professional, put in more time than you W-2. How is that possible for me as a teacher? Well, I only work 180 or so days a year as a school teacher, so I can technically put in more hours and more time as a real estate professional, which I do. Are you cut out for that? Are you cut out to be a real estate professional or even a general partner or even perhaps an LP? And my answer to all 3 of those is yes, but it depends. Now, everybody has the skill set to become either a real estate professional, which is a different topic, which we'll talk about another time. A general partner, definitely. Most people have the skills to become that, and then a limited partner. But which role you choose is going to really and highly depend on your circumstances and your appetite and your willingness and motivation to stay involved for the long term. Most of us should fall in the realm of an LP. If you love real estate, invest as a limited partner with those that you know, like, and trust, those that have a proven track record, and when you feel is the right time for you and your risk appetite. Because if you decide to be a general partner, I have to now shed some light on that. So me working 4 different jobs, being an active real estate investor and trying to have a coaching program, a mentorship program, along with owning, operating, asset managing all of my opportunities, connecting, communicating with, dispersing information to my general partners, putting out fires between them, putting out fires between CapEx issues, and then also my limited partners that I have to act financially responsible for. Okay. So what happens now after the day is done and I've done a million things? Let's break some things down. There's no way for me to share all the things that I do and all the things that I manage and handle and how much time it takes, number 1, and then how much emotional energy it takes, number 2. But I will paint a little bit of a picture today. So let's start with the sale. So I'm trying to sell our 44-unit property. Last year, we listed it at $7 million. We got no bites. Now we're listing it separately as 2 different properties because they are about a mile apart. And we're trying to increase the eyes on those 2 properties to show 2 smaller acquisitions, a 16-unit and a 28-unit. And we just got an offer on our 28 unit, and we are counter offering. And by the time you hear this, it might be dead at this point because counter offers and offers come and go all the time. Or we might be proceeding and going into due diligence. So I'm not sure. But that's just one of these properties. And then where does that leave us when all the general partners are split and thinking, well, I don't even want to counter this. I don't want to sell at this price. I want to change or not sell at all. And I have to manage all that. And then the limited partners disseminating that information to them on how it will look for their returns if we do sell today. And then what about the other property that we have to sell and how that's going to look for us moving forward. So there's so many factors to consider. I'm negotiating with the broker right now, with the potential buyer, with my general partnership team, while maintaining a good maintenance guy on standby all the time to handle things that are going on, while answering limited partner questions about this potential sale, while also on the flip side, planning for CapEx if we don't sell this property, reviewing our reserve account, etc. There is so much happening, so much. Taxes are coming due in November, and then next February, we will have insurance due. So this is just one property. Now, on the other side of things, I'm trying to refinance two properties. The first refinance is going to be this Baker Street property, the 6-unit that we could not sell. We ran into too many issues selling it, and I've told that story a few times, so I'm not going to get into it. But now we're looking at a refi. We just had the appraisal done, and again, today, I'm not going to be able to tell you what the appraisal result was. But if the appraisal doesn't come back good, then there are going to be issues I'm going to have to fight. And this is what it comes down to literally on every single property. But it's not only fighting with the appraiser, with the bank, it's also fighting within my team and arguing for who's going to sign on the loan. Because if you own more than 20% of the property, you have to sign on the loan. And those people are not comfortable signing on the loan. So I'm trying to figure out alternative and creative ways to keep them off the loan. Even though this is not going to impact their debt to income, this is a commercial acquisition here, a commercial refinance. This is not going to impact things the way that they would like. But also on the flip side of that, it's not just a commercial acquisition. It's not actually a commercial refinance because I'm doing two different residential loans, but it's still not going to affect their debt to income. And I have to explain this to them and have them be comfortable while also trying to move them forward because time is killing us. Okay. We have to move forward. And if I can't get people to agree, then we could be in a tougher situation. For example, when I first applied for the loan, the rate was going to be 6.375. And then 2 days later, it was 6.7 or so. So things are moving quickly. And if I don't move quickly and I can't engage my team and convince them to move quickly in the right direction, which I know is right, we're in trouble. Okay. Now for the other refinance, the 13-unit. That loan is also coming due on October 1st, just like the 6-unit. And of course, we could extend a little bit, but we're running too thin. I don't want to run this thin. I would like to get the refinance done now, especially with the uncertainty in the market. And again, we're running into problems with vintage. We're running into problems with it being two separate properties and now a 5-unit and an 8-unit, not a 2-unit and a 4-unit, which would be residential. Now we have to go commercial, and there's differences with that too. And we're going to have to order another appraisal and pay for that as well up front. Okay. On that same 13-unit property that I'm talking about right now, we have a good team that is pretty much in the same mindset, which is phenomenal. But on that same front, there are other issues because I ran into issues of not paying the taxes for this property on acquisition, which I thought was going to be done by title, and it was not. However, we just figured out a way to pay one of the property's taxes, and then we put the other property taxes on credit cards. So things are always constantly just a bit chaotic. And if you're not able to navigate this while maintaining your regular life, you should not. You can't. You're going to be out. And you really have to think about whether or not this is for you as a general partner. Limited partners don't need to see this. I take on the brunt of the head work. I take on the brunt of the chaos and the hard work and the struggle. I have to navigate difficult conversations with brokers, lenders, insurance people, and our partners and the limited partners. Do you want to do that? You might not. Now, moving on to CapEx issues. So we had a pipe burst at one of our locations. We had termite issues. Then we had flea issues. And after we thought we got rid of the flea issues and started showing the property, people that were looking at the property found more fleas. So flea issues are back. Guys, this is just part of it. There will always be something. And if you're not dialed in with how you're going to handle those situations and mentally clear, you're going to fumble and you will fail. And then there are new acquisitions that I'm always having to source deals, talk to brokers, connect with people, find out people's appetite, whether or not they want to partner with me as a general partner or as a limited partner, and constantly do that. And I've been just so disheartened by the way the market has been and the sellers' unwillingness to negotiate when we all know that it is a very challenging market. And people are kind of slow to pick up on that. And oh, well, I am not going to get myself into a crappy situation. So you have to think the same way. But you always have to be acquiring or at least looking at deals to know what's going on in the market, to understand how things are trading, what the prices are, what cap rates are, what investor appetite is like, what seller appetite is like, what general partnerships are like, JV partnerships, what everything is like, what brokers are thinking, what is going on in the overall general and broader economy. You have to be dialed in. And then as far as acquisitions go, what about me trying to put together a 5-year plan, a business plan for a property? I have to do that on every property that I'm looking to acquire. I can't just jump in saying, I'm going to buy this. It doesn't work. Each property has its own dedicated business plan for reasons, because every property is different, every location is different, every time and market cycle that you acquire, and every loan is very different. You got to know these things. And then finally, I would like to talk briefly about managing the whole multifamily machine cohort, which is kind of fizzling out at this point. I don't have enough people involved. I have 20, like 10 from each cohort, cohorts 1 and cohort 2. So what I'm doing right now is just focusing on maintaining that ecosystem and continuing conversations with everybody and keeping them engaged and hopefully helping them out, along with looking for future multifamily machine cohort members, people that are interested, and then also kind of pivoting a bit to share only the standalone course, the buy, build, and build empires that I include in the multifamily machine. But maybe not everybody wants the hand holding. Maybe more people would prefer to buy a simple recorded evergreen video that they can watch at their own pace and learn on their own. Okay. So these are all of the things that I'm navigating today. And there are so much more, and it is so much deeper than me explaining in a 10-minute podcast. But the purpose of today's show is to explain to you what I do on a day-to-day basis. And it's literally all day, every single day. Oh, and then I have to record, edit, and upload all of my podcasts myself, record short clips, and then also edit, post every single day so that I can maintain people's engagement, so that I can maintain a level of authority within this industry and show people that I am actually an owner operator and that I'm actually engaged and that I'm going to be in this for the long term. So just some food for thought today. Should you be a general partner? Should you buy an apartment building? Should you buy a single family duplex quad? Should you just invest in Bitcoin? I don't know. But hopefully I shed some light and clarity on what I do minimally on a day-to-day basis, which is all day, every single day, 7 days a week, while working 4 total jobs and putting in a ton of hours for each one. And I try to be a dedicated family man as well. I do my best with that as well. So please make your decision slowly, calmly, and thoughtfully. Decide, do you just want to be an LP? If so, God bless, reach out to me. And guys, have an epic week. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Small Acts Podcast. Your attention truly means the world to me. Please leave a rating and write a review. Also, share this episode with somebody that you think could get value from it. Remember, it only takes a small act to build a lasting empire. So get out there and start building your own.